Welcome back to Your Seat at the Table. We're Finding a Toria podcast. Katie's laughing because, that's Arcadia. I'm Tori.
We're missing Malcolm today.
It's the two of us. And I decided, this is the second take, I decided to try and
put a plug in for another podcast.
For my other podcast. I opened with that. And then I went, oh.
Oops.
Whoops.
But you are with Finding a Toria.
Yes, you are.
Welcome back to the table.
We're here.
And we're having fun conversations today.
Yep. Malcolm is unable to be with us today, so you get to hear our lovely dulcet tones. Sexy voice guy will not be joining us.
Sorry, guys.
And today, hey, guess what? Remember how we said we probably weren't going to talk about Daggerheart again?
I don't know.
I think we said we probably wouldn't talk about it for a while.
Well, we were wrong.
Yeah, we were absolutely incorrect.
We're having fun with Daggerheart.
We are.
Not leaving aside Dungeons and Dragons or other TTRPGs, but we are having fun exploring Daggerheart.
That, and I will take back some of my opinions that I did have to begin with, because I was like, I don't know, I like it, and I was all poo-poo about it.
I don't think you were horribly poo-poo about it.
But I was real super skeptical.
Yeah.
But now taking it for his own entity instead of me
just doing like a comparison.
Yeah. Completely different. I like the game.
I know. It's a cool fun game. It is a really fun game. And I do think that's a good thing. I think there has been, and with us as well as a lot of people in the community, so much comparison that, Daggerheart versus Dungeons and Dragons. I think we are doing a disservice. I think it does need to be taken as its own entity and explored and reviewed from that viewpoint, very much so.
And you guys know, at this point, this will be episode 30.
Yeah.
Because 28 comes out this week. We've got 29 in the till.
Yeah.
This will be episode 30. So you guys should know by now that we can wax poetic about D&D.
Oh, yeah. And considering I just said we shouldn't continue comparing, what are we doing today? We're comparing.
Kind of.
But part of that is, for those of you out there who are still trying to decide, is Daggerheart something I'm interested in? Or maybe you've already decided Daggerheart is something you're interested in. I guess we are making a little bit of an assumption that lots of people play D&D. I mean, I don't know. Lots of people play D&D as far as I know.
Lots of our people
play D&D. And so we wanted to sort of help people see, some ways that the things that you love to play in Dungeons and Dragons are also in Daggerheart, and in some ways how they're different than what you find in Dungeons and Dragons.
And I'm going to say this, there are some ways where they are way cooler in Daggerheart.
I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
Not gonna lie.
So we are talking Ancestries, Daggerheart Ancestries today. We've been sort of beating around it, not really coming out and saying it.
Which are species, which were races.
Correct. Yeah. So if you're a D&D buff, depending on what edition you play, for the longest time,
we were races up until 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 till 2024.
I'm sorry, 2024. I'm never gonna not say 5.5 at this point.
Well, I think it really is officially.
It really is
5.5.
5.5.
But yeah, so 5.5 2024 rules switched terminology to recognize that your genetic background is a species, not a race. And in Daggerheart, the term that they've chosen to use is ancestry.
Which makes a lot of sense.
It does, actually. I really like that terminology better, I have to say. And it's weird. But.
And I just thought of something that has nothing to do with anything except for the fact that the 5.5 thing, if you go back and look, the SRD 5.1 is 2014. That's 5th ed.
Right.
SRD 5.2, wait, 5.2 is 2024.
Oh, that's funny. So it's not.
Pretty sure it's 5.2.
5.5.
I think it's 5.5.
Yeah. So Daggerheart, we have been diving in, we have been exploring, we have been playing. We're going to play some more.
I'm so excited for you guys, I have a frog ninja. It's the coolest shit in the world.
Tori will keep coming back to the fact that she gets to play a frog ninja, and it's awesome.
That is Spider-Man in the fight with Thanos.
using his tongue to bitch slap him.
Dude, magic kick, magic punch. Magic.
It was a fun fight.
I'm sorry. That's all I can see. But
okay, so let's talk about that. There we have, we're jumping into Ancestry. The Ancestry you chose to play in Daggerheart is called a Ribbet. The closest comparison I can find in Dungeons and Dragons is sort of like a grung. They are not a 1-to-1 comparison. There are definite differences. The only reason I even match them a little bit is because they are technically both frog-like humanoid creatures, and the Ribbet is a much more humanoid-like creature than the grung is. But to be fair, my youngest child plays a grung as a PC and is a grung warrior. I mean, they have a whole society, they have a whole class. I mean, so they really are humanoidish. But
characters. Did you have to homebrew it?
We did have to homebrew it, and that is really, I think, going to be the core of our conversation today. Is that there are things that might be available in the core rules for Daggerheart that to get access to that kind of character, you either have to homebrew or get supplemental materials for in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, and I think the way, in all honesty, you can, not saying this, you can homebrew D&D all day long.
Well, and
to suit your table.
Correct. And Daggerheart just came out with a homebrew kit, so you're going to be able to homebrew there too.
But Daggerheart specifically, I think it leaves it open for it, and it encourages it for the story's sake.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with that. So tell us about the Ribbet.
Okay, the Ribbet are little frog dudes. Or they can be, I was
going to say, they're not that little.
No, they can be small or medium.
3.5 to 4.5 feet is something like that.
It's small or medium because mine's just a little. Remember when just a little frog.
Just a little frog.
I'm just a little frog.
You're about halfling size, I feel like.
No matter their size, which ranges from about 3 feet to 4.5 feet.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, about halfling size.
Yeah.
So not uncommon for a humanoid type creature. And we've commented a couple of times that, one of the fun little abilities that Ribbets have is an attack with their tongue.
It's they can use their tongue. They can grab stuff with their tongue.
I think it should officially be called bitch slap. But
basically, if you have the ability to grab things with your tongue or use it as a D12.
I know it's an intense attack. Yeah.
Which I guess I just thought it was really cool because, I mean, honestly, I'm just a little frog tied up. I have no weapons. Whack!
Right. You better put something over his mouth. I just thought
that was kind of fun.
Okay, so what makes a Ribbet special? Why would someone want to play a Ribbet?
They actually, let's look at the cards because the cards have the best. That works too.
It definitely does. So they're water creatures. I mean, they're amphibian.
Yeah, they're amphibious.
They're frog people. Can they breathe underwater?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can breathe both water and air.
Okay, very cool. That gives a definite bonus if you're doing
have to
water settings.
Swimming.
Oh, right. Yeah, it would be as natural as walking.
It's a water creature, right?
Right.
There's something else that they have that is one of their class features.
I was going to say,
one of the
things that is really cool in Daggerheart, I think, and you see some of this in Dungeons and Dragons, those class features that you get when you choose a certain species. And Daggerheart, I feel like you get some options of features to choose from that are specific to each species you might play, and they can be just a really fun way to shape out what your player character does.
Yeah, and the one thing they have some innate stuff, which is it'd be like, I know it's species now, but it'd be like the racial features for any of the D&D species.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now, what I do find, some of the differences between the game Daggerheart and Dungeons and Dragons is that you do get these racial traits, these ancestry features that you get to choose from. But a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, if you use that trait, you have to mark a stress.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with Daggerheart yet, they do a lot of things that, like using fear and hope and stress.
There's a lot of...
to make things a little bit more realistic.
Okay, so...
there's a consequence to having to act in a certain way.
It's resources.
Right.
You have to... it's tracking resources. It's just a different way than like arrows or spell...
Right. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's other role-playing games where you see that, you know.
Right. It's not a new thing. It's a resource management system.
It's you see resource management in Vampire, you see it in Shadowrun, you see it everywhere.
Most games.
Yep.
All have it.
And so I do like the fact that, like, okay, you have this really this tongue attack, which, I mean, a D12, that's a D12. That's like a great axe attack, right?
Right. I don't know if
and yet to do it,
you spend a stress.
Yeah, you spend a stress. And so it takes a little bit out of you. It's not something that you can use.
That just bamf.
Right. Like, because I mean, think about
Can't
how
do it willy-nilly.
Think about how challenging that would be. If you had this character that anytime they wanted, as many times as they wanted, they could just like use that class feature.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would do anything but play Ribbets as, fighting type creatures in that way.
It's Marcus Strauss.
Yeah.
But I just thought it would be funny to have here's the cards, so that way both of us can see.
Yeah, so lots of fun little like
I don't know
ancestry cards for Daggerheart. So it's not all necessarily sitting in the core rule book. It's nice to have your cards sitting out in front of you, telling you what you can do and what you can't. But yeah, what do you think is the drawback of the Ribbet?
The amphibious part is so setting specific.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Doesn't do you much good if you can breathe in water if you're not playing a
if you're in the
setting.
middle of a forest that only has creeks that come up to your ankles.
You'd rather you were a toad instead of a frog.
I wanted to be a frog, damn it. I was like, wait a second, I could be a frog ninja. This is the coolest thing ever.
Okay, so I think about a frog in the real world. They're pretty squishy. Are Ribbets squishy, or do they have some innate like defenses?
I'm thinking, I wonder if they have, oh, come on. That's all.
Like they don't have agility bonuses or things like that, do they?
Sometimes they do. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like turtles.
Oh, turtles do. Yeah, we'll dig into turtles. They're awesome.
Came up.
Yeah.
Because there's equipment. I don't care about that.
I think the tongue attack also, like, I mean, you have to be in fairly decent range for that, I would think. Maybe further away than a sword. I don't know. How long does that tongue attack go out?
It is, I think, within close.
Yeah, close range. Yeah.
So, which is actually like...
that's just like using a knife or a sword or anything like that.
No.
No? Closer than that? It's just melee range, right?
No, melee is melee.
Oh, close range is closer than that.
No.
All right, I'm not good enough about my Daggerheart rules yet, guys.
Craptastic. Because you go, I think it's melee close.
So it's further away than melee.
It's like melee would be that 5 foot square.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Close would be that next square out.
Oh, okay.
Or very close, maybe.
Yeah, very close. It's very
and
close,
then
close, and then far.
I can whip that bad boy out and grab.
So you can be further away than melee. So it's not quite a ranged weapon, but you don't have to be
don't
quite
add
in.
Us, guys.
Yeah,
we're still
quite
learning
in
the
as
damn
close.
car.
So, well, I don't know. Pretty cool, different character class. If you're interested in some just different features that you might not get anywhere. And you had, I think it's more because you took a rogue, but as your Ribbet, you got to do things like pop in and out of like space.
I took the Nightwalker subclass.
Okay.
And you can burn a stress, which is why I could have hurt myself. If you can get into a shadow, you can teleport to another shadow.
Yeah. That was a really cool feature.
By. Yeah.
And those are class features, not ancestry features. We're not going to dig into classes too much
that's
today.
That's a subclass
but it's really cool.
It was one of the subclass ones that I took. Mm-hmm. No, it's the subclass period.
Yeah.
And I burned stress to do it.
Okay.
And it's the Shadow Walker. You get into one shadow, you can teleport to its shadow, another shadow. Mm-hmm. And it was annoying Malcolm because I kept saying, he's big enough to cast a shadow, right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to burn stress and I'm going to stab him in the back.
Right. Yeah. You were just popping from shadow to shadow. I mean, we were in a very heavily wooded setting. It was sort of perfect. You talk about, that was a really good offset when you talk about the amphibious part of your Ribbet. Wasn't useful, but then by having the rogue and that subclass,
right,
it really helped out.
And
just so people are aware, when we talk about having to burn a stress, like as a character, when you're playing Daggerheart, you start off with 6 stress. Yep. So you really can't use these features over and over and over again. Nope. You have to limit them. There are some methodologies within the game where you can sort of gain stress, you can erase your stress marks
during rest.
Yeah. So and for some, those are also features. Like if they do a certain type of thing, they might be able to.
Yeah. In certain people, like classes, they have specific stuff for you too. Here we go. Hold on. So this is bothering me. So melee, very close, far, very far and out of range.
Yeah. So unlike Dungeons and Dragons, Daggerheart doesn't use like measurements like feet, etc. Those are the ranges of distance that you sort of judge by. So not bad. I would say a comparison maybe like 15 feet or something like that. Maybe in Dungeons and Dragons, if you were saying it was least, melee, close, or
melee, very
close and close. Yeah. So it's 3. Sort of, in my opinion, I see the little grid for fighting.
Very far out of range.
Yeah, so I see the little grid with all the 5-foot squares.
I know. Which honestly, if you play like we do with a lot of the theater of the mind stuff, then you that actually is way more useful than. Am I in range?
Right, exactly.
How many squares is that?
Yep.
We don't have squares.
Yep.
Can I hit him? You can try.
Yeah.
Did not what I asked, but all right.
So we've only hit on one of the really cool, fun ancestries. So I want to hit some of the others. The one that I really loved reading about in the core rulebook, and I get there's something similar to it in supplemental materials in Dungeons and Dragons, but is the Clank.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you who haven't started playing Daggerheart yet, the Clank is I guess best way to say it, non-organic living being, sentient being. So it's I think in fairy tale fantasy stories, the best thing I could come up with is it's a golem. It's a magical creation. Yeah, an automaton. It can be wood or stone or metal, but it's something that has been given sentience and life that wasn't born with sentience and life.
The D&D equivalent would probably, the closest they would get would be Warforged.
Right.
But Warforged is almost always metal.
Yes. And they're the thing that I thought was really interesting is that with Clanks, their creator has given them a purpose.
Yeah, they have a specific
there's something that they always
purposeful design.
Yeah, they have a purposeful design. So in other words, whoever makes them designs them with a purpose in mind and sort of imbues them with this is how they function, this is what they need to be doing.
And so what that affects is that you do experiences which give you little bonuses to do
that help
things,
towards your purpose.
But it bumps one of those experiences up one permanently.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Because that character would be designed with that purpose, which I thought is pretty freaking brilliant.
Well, and especially because
a Roomba's not going to cook you dinner.
Oh, darn.
Like, for real.
Right, exactly. But like what I liked about that as a possible player character is, first off, as the person making, choosing, developing, building your character, you get to choose what is your purpose. And so you can match that up with the kind of class that you're going to play and build out those strengths to feed that. And I think that could be really, really interesting.
A Clank druid built to protect the forest.
Right, exactly.
Like, you weren't going to find that in freaking...
No, because the closest thing is the Warforged, and it's much more, it's usually more fighter based, and
it's usually a martial class.
Exactly.
You don't see a whole lot, although I have seen a Warforged artificer, which I thought was brilliant.
Oh, that is brilliant. Yeah.
But I think the Clank is way different than the Warforged, and I like the Clank a lot more.
I think there's more versatility.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once again, I swear I will stress this another time, because Daggerheart is specifically made. They designed the whole game. They want a good story.
Right. And that's what I was just going to say about the Clank that I think is really an interesting part of it, is that because you're not a naturally born sentient creature, there is narrative behind that could be so interesting for gameplay. What do you think? How does your mind think differently than other sentient creatures? You don't necessarily need to eat or to sleep, or
which is why
you don't have family, probably. There's so many different things that could come into narrative to make the game complex, more interesting, just a really deep narrative there. Possibility.
And since downtime is such a big thing in this game, which makes all the sense, because y'all sleep through the night.
Right.
Unless somebody was like, well, wait, I have to do this. And this has it built in that you have stuff that you can do during short and long rests. Well, one of the things with Clank is you can pull a long rest activity and use it in a short rest
because I saw that. Efficient. Yeah. You've got that mechanic wow, I can't.
Automation?
Thank you. Automaton. Apparently I can't speak
Something
words.
of that nature.
That you have that efficiency built into that. I think the downside is that you are probably something that is almost like a robot or a statue or a mechanical device. And so you might not have the agility, benefits that, other creatures might have within the game. So I don't know that you're going to want to, play a rogue. Maybe you would. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I think
you could be a pretty good tank.
Honestly, because they don't have to be made of metal.
Sure. You could develop
absolutely.
Something.
I think it's a little bit more versatile, where you could play any of the classes.
Yeah. And I think you could. Yeah, I think you can always make anything.
You can make stuff work.
You can make things work. There's always going to be some things that
there's going to be downsides,
benefit certain classes, and I don't have ancestries better.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're having fun talking some Daggerheart with you. We're going to take a little.
Get through all of this.
Yeah, we'll come back. We will get through many more of the ancestries for you after the break. Thank you for joining us at the table, and we'll be back in just a minute.
When you sit down at the table, open the books, and spill out the dice, you're looking for an epic adventure. Tabletop role-playing is more popular than ever, and every day new players join our great hobby. My name is Steve Kellums, and I'm the host of the Epic Adventure Podcast. I'm just a fan with a radio voice, but joining me on this quest will be Mike Howlett, the co-founder of Oddfish Games, a great independent game company, and Christina Stiso, a PhD student studying game-based learning. Together, we will discuss all things tabletop gaming, from character creation to world building to setting and pacing. We will give you tips and tricks to make your games, well, epic. Like and subscribe to the Epic Adventure Podcast today.
Welcome back to the table. We're here to continue.
We're both having problems with words today.
It's not my day.
Right?
We're continuing
I love
our conversation on ancestry. Oh my God.
Our tongues do work. Our brains do form words. We promise.
All right. What are we talking about? Which one next?
Yeah. So there's so many really cool ancestries that are just core ancestries in Daggerheart that, like I said, in Dungeons and Dragons, you can maybe find stuff, but you have to get those supplemental materials. And some of them you just can't. And one of the ones I thought was really interesting is the fairy. And I know we have a fairy class in Dungeons and Dragons, but the fairy in Daggerheart is very different.
Right. Like in fairies, and you couldn't play fairies until Mordenkainen's, but
they're insectoid.
Bugs.
When I first read that, because I'm thinking, fairy, it's the fae, it's Tinkerbell, whatever. Nope. And it's not. They're insect-ish. And I'll just say, I'm not a fan of bugs. I really am not. However, when you think about evolution and the capability of their bodies in some ways, really freaking impressive. And
except for Starship Troopers.
No.
Sorry.
Or Ender's Game. But we're
such geeks. Oh my God. It was two geeks. Bad movies, right?
But
yes,
they have some of those benefits that you would get from insectoid features.
They can fly.
They are very agile, and they have that.
I think their evasion goes up.
They've
got bonuses
go up
to their evasion,
and they can go up.
Yep.
That's the big thing, I think, is they can fly up above and get out of combat range. Mm-hmm. And, they can zip in and out a lot easier. But they have I think some of the choices give you, eyes that probably see better, and they've got wings, and they've got just some really, really cool functions.
Flavor them so many ways.
Yeah.
You can flavor them so many ways.
They can really look how you want them to look.
Would you want... Oh my God, all I can think of is a freaking bumblebee monk.
That would be cool.
I don't know if they have the way of the drunken master in this one, but a drunk bumblebee monk. Oh my God, it'd be so funny.
That would be hilarious. I think they're smaller though. They're not full humanoid size, I don't believe.
They are 2 to 5 feet tall.
Yeah, so you're talking about a smaller humanoid.
Yeah.
But you get that in D&D terms, that dexterity, Daggerheart, that agility to evade and move around quickly.
The class one with them is if they're in you can fly while flying, you can make a stress after somebody attacks you. Mm-hmm. And when you take that stress, you get a +2 bonus to your evasion.
Oh, wow.
So
if you are in
flight and about to get rocked, you can take that stress and zig when they thought you were going to zag.
Right. And I think one of the other bonuses that I saw on them, correct me if I'm wrong, is they're lucky. So that does sort of play into that fairy concept.
It's luck bender. But here's the thing. That's one of those that you spend 3 hope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's expensive. Mm-hmm. And then it's once per session. You can spend 3 hope to help that person, or if after you or a willing ally within close range makes an action roll, you can spend 3 hope to re-roll the duality dice. So if for some reason
you have a bad roll, you can re-roll.
Right, you can re-roll it, or if you didn't have any hope left.
Right. Yeah.
If that person succeeded on that roll but did it with fear and they didn't have any hope left, mm-hmm. then you could undo that, hopefully to give them a better outcome.
Right. You still got to roll the dice, though, to be fair. So
right.
It's a little bit risky. It's a little gambling. And you can only do it once per session, I remember reading. Yep. But it's a cool
But if it's a do or die situation, it can be, in the right circumstances, a lifesaver.
Yeah. I think if I were doing a fairy, I would do... probably, I think maybe roguish. I don't know. What class would you pair with that kind of ancestry?
I'd be a medic.
Oh, I like that.
I would be a cleric.
Cleric. That's a good idea. Although they are a little bit supposedly mischievous. They've got a little bit of the fairy mischief in them.
Clerics?
I know.
It ain't priest like second edition.
Okay, I like that. I do like that.
I think the fact that the mobility issue would help you
get in and out and
get
help
in and
people.
out.
Yeah. Oh, I like that very much. Okay. All right. So we'd love to hear what you guys how you might want to class match the different ancestries that we're talking about. And it is, because the fairy in Dungeons and Dragons is very different. You know, it is not this kind of a creature. No. So it's sort of fun to get introduced to something different in the world. Another one that we had fun with looking at was the fawn. Now, you do have satyrs available with supplemental materials like Mordenkainen's. Mordenkainen's gave us a lot of these similar creatures.
So did Volos.
Yeah, for Dungeons and Dragons. Again, that's supplemental material. They're not core rulebook species, but they are available. But in Daggerheart, you have fawns as a part of the core type of ancestries. I mean, everybody sort of knows what a fawn is. You think Pan, in Greek mythology. If you're into, Percy Jackson, you think Grover.
I've never read the books or seen the movies.
Wait, you called yourself a geek earlier.
Just because I don't like some things, they're different.
I know.
There are different dialects.
There are different dialects. I agree. But yeah, so, a fawn, a satyr is a humanoid cross with a goat. And so I think, if I remember, they did very goat-like features for the fawn. Kicking.
They have one of their features is a kick, which you can mark a stress and make a kick, and it's 2d6 damage, and it knocks yourself or the person you're attacking into very close range rather than melee.
Oh, so pushes away.
So it pushes them away.
Okay. Or I think, you could push them into something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So it could be applied strategically.
Right.
And then they've got Caprine Leap, which is you can leap anywhere within close range. And
that's just free. You can use that whenever. Because if you've ever watched baby goats play, they leap.
Yeah, and you don't have to. It rough terrain ain't a thing. You're a goat.
Yeah, yeah. You can pretty much get everywhere.
You can go where you want to go.
Very agile. I would think maybe not quite as strong. You're probably not necessarily playing them in as a tank type of character
class. I think you could probably get a pretty vicious monk.
You could get a really can you imagine that kick feature matched with martial?
Oh yeah, I think you could be a pretty vicious oof. I'm just thinking about how cool that would look.
Right? Yeah. That would be really actually pretty cool to watch.
Unarmed strike with a headbutt with those horns?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would think the horns would be able to do damage. I know on the orc class they can.
No, because they gave you the kick.
Okay. Because, with orc, you get to bite.
Yeah.
So. I sort of like that. And I play an orc, my character. I like that I can bite someone as an extra move in battle.
I know, and I'm just a little bitty frog jumping through shadows. I'd say puddles, but there were no puddles.
There were no puddles. Oh. I think another one that we were talking about that's very different. Like a lot of the Daggerheart characters that we found, you could sort of find a D&D match. Maybe there's always differences, but this one, there's really not a match.
Nope.
So this is a Fungril. And for those who haven't, seen the Daggerheart rulebook, Fungrils are fungus.
big old mushroom
people.
folks.
And actually, it was really funny when we were at Gen Con. A couple of the people we met that we've mentioned on other episodes, they do an Instagram account and videos and stuff. And they were talking about how they had played Daggerheart and done a luminescent Fungril. And it just sounded like they gave a whole bunch of details about how they designed the character they created, and it was really pretty awesome. It was a glittery, glowing Fungril.
And I have Spider-Man the Frog.
Right, exactly.
But they can be from they have a way bigger size difference because they can be from 2.5 feet tall all the way up to 7 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
no. So you can have
really...
you can really just have a little fungus. I'm just a little mushroom.
Right. I'm just a fun guy.
Just a little fun guy.
So a lot of versatility.
Right.
Now, I guess I would, if I was just coming into this, I would think a fungus. What on earth am I going to do? How does a mushroom survive an attack or a battle? What are their
in armor just like everybody else?
Right. What are their features? Do we have some...
I don't know what their changes to any of their ability scores or anything like that, but they have something really cool, which as long as you would make an instinct roll,
okay,
to use basically to see if there's any other Fungril in the area, and you can talk to them telepathically.
They can talk telepathically?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
To other Fungril.
Okay, so they can't do it with anybody.
No, it's almost it's like the Twilight Bark.
Oh, okay. I love that example. Go watch 101 Dalmatians if you haven't recently.
Well, that way of passing on information, so
right.
they can ask.
Oh, it's the web.
Yeah.
Like
the cobweb.
Yeah, it's the cobweb in VTM. Yeah.
Yeah, except I think the fungi are a little bit more,
a little nicer.
Well,
I don't know. Fungi grow on dead stuff.
And actually, one of their powers is called Death Connection. One of their racial bonuses, and they could touch something that's died recently.
Okay.
And mark a stress, and they can extract a memory.
Oh, that's totally
from the corpse,
cool.
Related to a specific emotion or sensation. So, in other words, they have speak with dead without having to ask the question. They just need the emotion or the feeling around what it is.
Oh my goodness, that is a really cool feature. All right, you're our person who does really well at making a strong build. You know, what kind of class would you put a Fungril as? I feel something magic related.
Yeah. It's one of those where I'd almost say Druid.
Oh, that would be a good match.
I think might be a good match. Because it would make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you could use that network to your advantage, especially if you're a druid.
I could also see I go into the narrative concept there. You know, you have the ability to get information from the dead and things like that. I could see cleric, I could see bard.
My first instinct would be with sounds kind of like druid.
Yeah, I like druid.
Because also I think watching a mushroom turn into like a bear would be hilarious.
And for some reason, that would be hilarious. I'm sorry.
Watching a mushroom turn into go wild shape.
That would be really cool.
Right?
Yeah. For some reason, and I know not related, I know tree versus fungus, but I keep picturing like Groot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, and you could actually flavor him like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the whole plant humanoid connection there, but I think that could be really fun. Although, man, Groot would kick your ass in a fight.
Groot's a barbarian.
Groot is a total barbarian.
We are Groot.
We are Groot, absolutely. And I think before we finish up our discussion today, like I said, we are not touching on every ancestry in Daggerheart. They're really pretty cool.
One more though.
They are different. But we wanted to talk about the Simiah. Which again, you don't really find in Dungeons and Dragons.
Nope.
There are a couple things that come close in older versions.
And it's the Hadozee.
Yeah, the Hadozee. Is that right? I can't even remember. Hadozee? Yeah, Hadozee. That's it. Just the Hadozee.
And that was Spelljammer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Spelljammer. And you can homebrew. I've actually seen some homebrew of simian type humanoids. But in Daggerheart, Simiah is not a homebrew. It's a core ancestry, and these are ape-like humanoids. I like the concept of the versatility there in regards to, you can go with. There's so many different kinds of ape ancestries. You can go with gorilla. You could go with,
and I think the Hadozee. Okay,
yeah.
I think they were either chimp or gorilla-like. I think you had two choices.
Sure. And here you can really choose any type of primate.
You could be a capuchin,
right. Which I think that is some really fun versatility.
Anywhere from 2 to 6 feet.
Yeah.
So you could just be a little monkey.
Right. I love that. And because one of my favorite classes to play is a ranger, I immediately was like, I thought,
that
this would be a
good
really
ranger.
Cool ranger. Some of them have tails, so they have that prehensile tail for climbing. They are very good in forested terrain.
Or an orangutan or gorilla defender.
Yes. I could completely see a very strong
one of the great apes
type of character class there.
I could see an orangutan. Isn't it defender?
Yeah, defender is a fighting style or a fighting subclass, I believe.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, one of the martial subclasses. I could totally see that. I think it would be a really cool build.
One of the big male orangutans with the big cheek folds.
Right.
Touching his pauldrons.
Yes. Think Planet of the Apes.
Sorry.
I'm we've been referencing movies all day.
And they get a permanent +1 to their evasion.
Nice.
That's one of their racial ones.
They're very agile.
And they have advantage to any agility rolls for balancing and climbing, which makes all sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could see that you could use them for classes that would be more, you want that agility, you want to be able to climb, things like that. But
make them a swashbuckler.
Oh, a swashbuckler would be fun.
You get a capuchin or one of the smaller monkeys, make that sucker a swashbuckler.
Oh, that would be fun to play.
I don't think they have swashbuckler, do they?
Although I think I would still want to do it's just me
a ranger.
Because I'm me. I would want to do a ranger. I could. That would be such a cool ranger type of character. And if I'm already building my next character, I think.
See, I don't know.
One of the things that we didn't talk about though in all of this is Daggerheart went the complete opposite direction of D&D 2024 rules, which is, Dungeons and Dragons decided to sort of almost, not entirely, but almost entirely do away with half classes. You don't have a half elf, you don't have a half orc anymore. You have to choose one or the other if your species is mixed. However, some people still do them, but you tend to only see certain types. You only see half elves and half orcs, and you don't even see half dwarves. I
think one of our friends may have played one once.
I know.
And we made fun of them constantly about it.
Right? Which makes no sense because why is it okay for a half elf but not a half dwarf? I don't know. You don't see half halflings. I don't know. But I know say that a whole bunch of times.
They'd be quarterlings.
Quarterlings. That's sort of funny. Half bits, since they can't be hobbits. But in Daggerheart, that is just a part of the rules. Nope. You can
combine
any two species.
Oh my God.
I mean, you could have some real fun with this. You can combine any 2 species and you get to take an ancestry trait. I should say ancestries instead of species. You can take an ancestry trait from each lineage.
You have to, okay, so how you have to pick, you have the 2 for each of them. You have to pick the first one from one.
Sure.
And then on the other side, you would have to take the second one. You can't take that first one.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was that kind of a restriction on it. I just thought you could pick one from each.
Because some of them, a lot of the first ones don't cost anything.
Oh, sure. And so they want to keep that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But still, you can literally mix and match any 2 species. I think I saw online the other day on socials, someone had built a Dracona giant.
See, all I can think of a trog.
Describe,
a frog?
Describe your trog.
Frog with a... Because then I would definitely take whatever the tortoise or the...
Turtle. It's Turtle in Dungeons and Dragons. It's Galapa.
The Galapa?
Daggerheart.
Hold on, let me look to see what... Because let's see if I can do it. So a
Galapa frog would be... We would call him a...
Glog?
A grog? No, I mean,
glog?
sorry.
Glog.
A glog? Galog. Or a frappa?
Here's my frappa. His name is Starbucks. Don't worry, his brother's name are Duncan and Wawa.
Oh my gosh. We're not good when Malcolm doesn't keep us on track. I think I'm supposed to push this one now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it didn't. Hold on, I'll do it again.
Yeah, whoopty shit. Back to Star Wars.
No, you would, so I would take, where'd my ribbit go?
A Galapa and a Ribbet. A Galobit.
I would take the gain bonus to your damage threshold because of the shell.
Yeah.
And then the tongue thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I couldn't retract during a
retract
fight.
into your shell and use your tongue to kill people.
So, but I can't retract.
I'm picturing this now.
Oh, yeah. Be like, oh, he's dead.
It's a Galobit.
Ew, that's kind of gross.
So what kind of class would you make your Galobit?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I wouldn't have built that.
I do. Okay, like, to be fair, like, and really honest, I do think it is cool. You can build a character that takes 2 ancestries, looks like whatever parts of those ancestries you want them to be, chooses class features from each of those ancestries. And I mean, that's a really fun mix and match. Really cool part. I'm going to do a plug. We don't get paid. This is not paid content.
No.
But with Daggerheart's partnership with Hero Forge,
yep,
you can now mix and match those ancestries and build a mini that would match it, which is really super cool.
Isn't my frog's name like Dave or something stupid?
I think so, yeah. Dave. I'm sorry. All right, guys. We've been a little bit silly. We've been a little bit off the wall, but we have really enjoyed exploring Daggerheart's ancestries, digging deeper into them, learning their skills and their benefits.
I think they're a little bit more versatile than...
I do. I think they're a little bit more versatile.
Once again, the whole system is designed to tailor to the story you're telling and not to the rules.
Yep. So if you haven't had a chance to dig into Daggerheart and some of those ancestries, check it out. It actually, again, not saying we don't want to still play our Dungeons and Dragons. We love it. We still love a lot of different TTRPGs. We're going to be digging into Call of Cthulhu soon. We think you might find some fun, just sort of being able to build what you want to build in that world and tell the story that you want to tell. So
you can find us on all the socials. We're also available at wordleafmedia.com//Finding Atoria.
There's a slash in there. Tori's giving me evil looks.
Well, I was about to start singing Guns N' Roses, but nobody wants that.
Right.
We're there. You can find us on Patreon. Cue the Sarah McLachlan music for Malcolm and his cup of coffee.
Yep. And thanks for joining us at the table, guys. We appreciate it. Talk to us on the socials. We want to hear from you.
Please.
Tell us about your mixed
In fact,
ancestries.
Right now,
from Daggerheart.
well, it doesn't matter because it'll be in 3 weeks when this comes out. I was going to say, I just put a post up today asking what everybody's favorite monster was.
Go find the post.
Respond.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.